There are a lot of problems with personal data and how it's operating. Who do you think is responsible for fixing it?
I think that we are responsible for fixing the issues around a wonderful opportunity that the digital world and the online world offers us. But I think there's no point blaming the IT crowd or even the politicians or the lawyers or whatever. We have to be more educated, more confident digital citizens in order to engage in incredibly important public debate about where the boundaries and the balances should be between fantastic convenience, democratisation in sharing more and more information on the one hand, but the risks to intimacy, dignity, trust, cybersecurity, personal security on the other hand. The techie community needs to better understand the philosophy, the law, the politics, the instinctive concerns that people have. But we, the people, need to be more literate and more educated about the technology so that we can express our concerns and really engage in this ongoing discussion, debate about how to best manage this data, to enjoy all the possibilities that it brings, but also to protect some core societal values and rights and freedoms.
A lot of the people who are making those decisions, who are involved in that technology, they may not feel on the one hand that they're being listened to necessarily by the rest of society, and we see that in a lot of groups that are formed and organisations, and that gap doesn't seem to be being bridged. But on the other hand, those people don't necessarily feel like in the decisions that they're making they've got a lot of power. How do you think we kind of restore that balance of responsibility and power between society and those in tech?
I think perhaps the best way to make headway in this discussion that needs to happen, to create this balance that you're talking about, is probably for the IT community to lead the conversation in an educational sense, not to dictate what outcomes are going to be, but really they are probably best placed to educate the public and the polity and the lawyers and the judges and everyone else about risks and opportunities. And it requires a great social spirit and generosity, because it requires a professional community decoding its privilege to some extent. It's every profession at times is tempted to keep the language private, because understanding any language is power. Lawyers do it. Clerics have done it in years gone, but you will not come to God except through me. I will be the translator for you. Now that is great for a while, and that can give any profession, as I say, lawyers have done it throughout the ages, clerics have done it. And
so code is the new Latin?
Perhaps. And there's a great temptation for any professional class or any cadre of people who have expertise to keep it to themselves, but it brings dangers when things go wrong. And I think the true professional, whether they are the cleric, the medic, the lawyer, or the IT professional, that the real professional is the one who is a translator and an empowerer of the language and the knowledge.
Do you think you've got cause for optimism in the future of how this is going to go?
I'm always an optimist. The internet, if you like, it is probably up there with the printing press in terms of its importance for the human race. Now that brings fantastic opportunities, we know that, but also significant challenges. Bad stuff can happen online, whether it's conspiracy, whether it's child pornography, whether it's terrorism, whether it's the spreading of hate or the incitement of violence or war. We know that, but equally our responses to those challenges can't be so blunt and blanket and disproportionate that life in the online world is a life without personal cybersecurity or privacy or intimacy or trust or all the other rights and freedoms that do flow from privacy, like conscience and political speech and so on. So we need to navigate this new world in the way that we once navigated the old one and the real world. But I believe we can do that. You know, we are amazing creatures, but we need the help of the pioneers in this technology, which is your professional community, to help us navigate that terrain.